Hi, everybody. This is Chris,
This is Matt.
and today we're talking about the Oregon Trail and a couple versions of it, and all that goodness. Before we start, this is not a review. This is a club. We just kind of get together, talk about games. It's just two assholes with their opinion, and in this case, it's going to be about the Oregon Trail. It's our short game, so we didn't spend a whole month playing it, maybe a few days, and probably be a short video, like half an hour,
Yeah,
45 minutes, hour, three
this one
hours.
was tricky though because usually we play stuff that like is obscure and maybe a few people will have memories of, but everyone played Oregon Trail.
Right.
Everyone. This
Right.
thing was ubiquitous, and it like whether you played it at home or your school computer lab or both, this thing was everywhere and everyone remembers it. So it's a little bit of pressure because you don't want to shit on anyone's childhood. Uh,
You think we might do that?
No, I
Okay,
mean,
yeah, I was gonna say me either.
yeah, yeah. I didn't. It's impossible to hate this game, uh, because it just is what it is.
it's yeah, and it's seen so many iterations over the year. Like there's even an iOS version of this now. It is a solid formula and game now. We'll talk about the original in a little bit, but for right now,
Yeah,
it's a solid formula. Create your party of 5 people, go out on the Oregon Trail. For anybody who might not know what the Oregon Trail was, I actually looked up some historical info. Would you
holy
look at
shit.
that?
Let's
I
hear it.
know.
Do it.
1843 was start of the Great Migration West over 2,000 miles, 3,200-ish kilometers, because I know we've got some people from metric countries.
Hmm.
Look at me pandering.
Yeah, you did the math. I'm impressed.
I know. Thousands of settlers attempted the trek to Oregon to set up a new life. Like the first one in 1843 was actually 1,000 settlers who went west and tried to make it happen. Um, the game itself was originally written in 1971 for a teletype machine and a
Yeah,
mainframe.
that might make this the oldest game that we've played, right?
If we had
I
actually
mean,
played the teletype version, I'd give it that. But since
it's not a
that was
thing though.
deleted,
Like
it's
you
not
can't.
something we can get our hands on.
Yeah.
Or I would. I totally would.
I'd just like to point out that it's Matt's General Store and my name is Matt, so I have a definite. I believe the character of Matt was based on me,
I can see that with the pipe and the whole apron.
and
I
the
can see you wearing
the
that in those shoes.
baldingness. Let's be honest.
I don't know. You always have a hat on. I can't tell.
That's why, buddy. You
That's
figured
why.
it out. You cracked the case.
Mine's slowly going back. Like
Oh God, we're so
not
old.
to get off topic, but I remember like in my early teens, like I still had like an Eddie Munster Widow's Peak, and I
Oh
hated it.
really?
Yeah, so I like
Oh
shaved it
God.
off, and then it was worse. It's like, oh, I shouldn't have done that. Anyway,
Right now, you'd sell your soul for that widow's
oh
peak
my god,
back.
in a moment, in a
Now you've got
moment.
a widow's inlet.
Yes,
But anyway,
I
but
got a
anyone who
whaling
remembers
walk, which
playing
is a
this
different thing.
in the 80s is going to identify with feeling old as shit.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this game is like you said, probably one of the oldest we've played, and many versions have come out. So if you want that nostalgia, you can either go back to the Apple II version like we played, or the DOS version, or the Commodore version, or the iOS version, or the Android version, or
Anything.
anything. If your computer played games, it probably had a version of this on it somewhere at some time in some way, shape, or form.
It's a pop culture icon. There's a card game based on the Oregon Trail. There's the Oregon Trail, which is like a zombie themed
Yes.
Oregon Trail that scared the shit out of my kid when he played it when he was real
Did it?
little.
Did it
Yeah,
really?
it scared him. He
I
was
got the
scared. I'm
card game.
sorry. I'm
We got
sorry
to
I said
play
that.
that.
He's 12 now
He's
and
12 now. He'll get
no
over it.
longer frightened by it. But and then there's also like a Steam game I have called like Super Wagon Adventure or something that's
Yes.
like the the Oregon Trail on acid, which is pretty fun.
Well, and then I'm
There's
trying
a
to remember.
play.
Yeah, there's a play about it.
I saw the
You
play.
saw the play. You saw the play with Mark from 6502.
I did,
Did you
yeah.
like the play?
It was fair.
It's fair.
It was funny. Like it was way more lowbrow than I thought. Uh But then I thought about it, and like I thought about the way everyone played this game, and it
Mm-hmm.
was all lowbrow.
Oh,
Like that was what made this fun when you were in second or third grade or whatever.
yeah,
Was that you could name your guy, Dick Shit or
yeah,
whatever, and it was funny, and you could write a funny thing on your tombstone.
right. And you passed the tombstone that said pepperoni and cheese, which was
Yep.
for anybody who doesn't get the reference. In the 80s, there was a commercial from Tombstone Pizza that would ask people who were about to be murdered, or well, not murdered, I guess hung,
Executed, yeah.
executed. Very shade of difference there. What they wanted on their tombstone, and they'd say pepperoni and cheese. So
But like, is the
all in good
story that it
taste.
was that this most people had a copy that was pirated from one person who wrote pepperoni and cheese? Is that how that became a thing?
uh, I don't remember. I
Well,
remember it always sort of being there.
yeah, it's in every ROM version that I played preparing for this. So I don't know. Maybe it's just in there, but because it's spelled wrong is the thing.
Mm-hmm.
But whatever. Who knows? I mean, someone knows. Are you googling it? Is
I
that why you
am.
want
I
me
am.
real
Sorry.
quiet?
Yes.
That's okay. Yeah, look it up. Look it up, and we can pretend like we know what we're talking about. But yeah, like I played this on like a green screen Apple in the corner of my second grade classroom. It wasn't even a computer lab. And this was like the only thing we had for it. Everyone played this game.
Yeah.
Are you still looking?
Yeah. I'm.
You're hung up on this?
Well, I am hung up on this because I could swear. Okay, not only do I remember seeing it on the Apple, but I remember seeing it on like the IBM and stuff. Like, but
Oh god, now we're both
I
now
know
we're
we've
both
we've
googling
totally
it.
we've underprepared. We've got hung up on this Tombstone situation. We should be talking about the game more.
Stories that a kid named Andy was particularly amused by those Tombstone Pizza, blah 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 blah. His game was saved on a disc. It ended up being a disc that was very popularly pirated later on. I don't know if I can trust this article because the grammar in it is pretty bad.
well, yeah, and
But
like I'm
it's a thing,
seeing
though.
different pictures of it. Like if you go to like images,
Yeah.
like I feel like there's different versions.
Mine was spelled the incorrect way,
Well,
pepperoni with the Y and cheese with an A. Jeez.
yeah,
But I
I don't
don't
know.
know.
All right, well, I'll look into it and we'll
It's
talk
a
about it
mystery
in
for the
December.
ages, yeah.
Yeah. Um, my other little historical footnote, and you asked me why I put this in the notes, and it's because I hate fax machines. Fax machines are old,
Yeah, this
outdated tech.
this was weird. Like I was reading the notes before we started, and there's this whole
Spiel.
whole spiel about fax machines. I'm like, what the fuck is he talking about?
Well,
So go
like,
ahead. Go
yes,
ahead. I'll
I mean,
do your thing
so
about the
most
fax.
people think of the Oregon Trail as very old. Like it's something that happened long ago. Um, and it happened in 1843. And to put that in context, that's the same year the fax machine was invented. And it was invented by this guy, a Scottish mechanic named Alexander Bain. His early model used pendulums, probes, and sensitive paper to transfer documents, but it came out that same year. And the technology has changed actually very little from that time. So please, if you work at a company, scan and email your documents. Stop faxing. Just as an IT
Yeah.
guy, I
Yep.
beg you stop faxing.
Yep.
Please stop faxing. They're not
It's
secure. They're not more secure than email. Just
it's
stop.
the medical industry, I think, is what keeps that alive because
Oh yeah.
they don't release anything, but they'll fax you anything you want. Like they'll fax you signed copies of your medical records and shit, but they won't just scan them and email them to you. It's
Because
ridiculous.
faxes have been grandfathered into HIPAA.
Right. It's
And
ridiculous.
it
There's no
is,
reason
it's
for it.
totally ridiculous. And I don't know if the laws are being made by big facts. I don't know who that would be.
Yeah, no doubt.
But just nothing ticks my ass off more than fax machines. They are my number one problem at work. Something
Wow.
is wrong with a fax machine. Something is not working or broken or something else. Okay,
Can't get faxes. People live and die by them too. It's ridiculous.
they do.
1843, fax machine
1843.
invented, Oregon Trail
Yep.
started. So now you've got context for
Now,
our discussion.
yes. Go. Tell people. Tell everyone that fax machines are old. But
My
we're.
my question for you though is
I'm
like,
desperately trying to get back to the game,
yeah,
but go on.
let's let's correct
Let's
the
stay here for
course.
a second. Oh, you can finish your question.
What did Oregon Trail teach you?
Well,
I know it's an educational game. It's by the Minnesota Education something something.
Community Consortium.
Yeah,
Let's
yeah.
take a look.
So it was in every school. What did it teach you? It's not like a trick question.
Minnesota Educational Computing Consortium. No, it's not a trick
Definitely.
question. Now, on my version, it did a couple things. First off, geography, knowing what
Hmm.
states you're in, seeing some stuff like that laying around. Historical context of the years this happened, names of
Hmm.
rivers, uh, definitely where Oregon was.
Right.
Figure that out. Um,
It taught you where Kearney is
yeah.
because ain't nobody gonna know if it weren't for Oregon Trail where the hell Kearney, Nebraska is.
My games, and we'll get to my version later again, didn't do as much math for you. So if you wanted to figure out how
Mm,
much you needed to do, you actually had to like figure it out. Like, okay,
cool.
he's got 20 bullets, and I need to spend how much to get the number of bullets I want. Um, Not a big deal, but
Yeah.
a little bit of problem solving, a little bit of planning, because you've got
Hmm.
a set number of supplies and you've got to get them so far. And
Hmm.
so a little bit of practice on. I'm getting ready. Pepperoni and cheese.
There it is. Yeah, that's the famous
The
right
famous
outside of
pepperoni.
Kearney, right?
All right.
That should be, if I remember correctly, that should be the fort at,
Yep.
yeah,
Look at you remembering
Kearney.
that.
I know, no big deal.
No, ain't nothing
You
but a
get some
thing.
music, you get this shitty Apple graphic. It's a good time.
The other reason I think it's not a uh, thing like that, it's not somebody's pirated copy, is when you die, like your last tombstone can be seen along the trail too.
Hmm.
So I think the version we're playing, I die in, and then the next one I play, I pass my own tombstone. But I know I've died several times along the trail, and I'm not seeing those tombstones.
Yeah, I don't
So
know.
that one's stuck to me implies more like it was coded. It might still be some kid's Andy's joke, and then they just decided to leave it because they thought it was funny too. But
Yeah, I don't know. It's a good question.
yeah,
That's like the legend is that
the
it's
legend
the
itself is
version that
yeah,
everyone copied, but who
yeah.
knows?
Um,
But yeah, like
how
it
about you?
was
What'd you learn?
I mean, the things you said pretty much. It teaches you some basic geography. It teaches you some risk reward stuff. The biggest thing though that it taught me was that life is just fucking a terrible horrible ordeal that you just it's like it's never going to go right. Even if you're playing life on easy mode, it's still not going to be easy. It's still like shit's going to happen. It's going to be miserable. That is, I think, the
That's your
true
takeaway?
lesson
Oh
of the Oregon Trail. It
man,
sounds cynical, but
yeah.
it's
It
like,
it sounds cynical,
but
only
it's
because
just
it's vocal. That is fucking cynical.
terrible things happen to you constantly in this game. And like, even if you pay to ferry your shit across the river, it still might sink. Like, you're not guaranteed anything. You know,
Yeah,
you
I mean, there is that. You're not guaranteed anything,
you
but
can't buy your way out of every problem. It's just like bad shit happens all the time. It set me up for adulthood, I think, in that regard.
I mean, It does, but it also, if you stay steady, if you take a steady pace and eat an average amount and you just truck along, you will get there. It's when you try to push or you try to take things too far that stuff starts breaking because you've taken things beyond where they're supposed to, or you know.
And the other lesson, the
Hmm.
shitty lesson about life, is is even if you're extremely successful and you do more than you need to do, you're still screwed because you can only take 100 pounds of meat back to your fucking wagon. Fuck that. You shot 8,000 pounds of bison. You can only carry back 100 pounds. Okay. I guess my life's just going to be shit then. Like, that's,
Got 5 people. That's 500 pounds minimum.
yeah.
Minimum.
You can't figure out a way to handle a couple extra pounds of meat. So, yeah. So, the lesson of the Oregon Trail is geography, planning, and that life is intrinsically shitty. You're
Should we talk
welcome.
about the gameplay at all, or just?
I mean, it's really a choose your own adventure.
It kind of is, yeah.
You get a
Um,
menu. The only skill based part is
the
the
hunting.
hunting, and that's somewhat random.
Yeah, it is. It can really fuck you because you get a bunch of stuff dumped down on your screen, and then you don't know where the animals are coming. So you try to position yourself. Like here, I couldn't get a shot of that buffalo.
Right, because of that bush.
Yep,
And here you go.
got a
And
deer.
sometimes they like serve it up to you, and it's beautiful.
Yep.
But yeah, the little rabbits fly by in like the
Hmm.
corner, and you like kind of
I don't even
think,
shoot
oh
rabbits. Nope,
yeah, no,
not worth
no,
it. Take another day to hunt.
yep,
Um,
yeah. It becomes an economy thing because you have to weigh the value of your bullets versus the meat that you're going to get. And then if you find yourself in a jam, which you often do,
hmm
you can decide to diversify your investments and convert some of your bullets to meat
hmm
so that maybe you can get that axle that you desperately need because you're stuck.
Yeah.
There
What
is
was your
there is
initial
some
loadout?
strategy.
Let's let me rip this back here.
Yeah, yeah.
Let's.
From
Okay, so
Matt the
first off,
vendor.
when do you leave?
I mean, I usually leave early.
So March or April?
Probably April or May generally.
Okay.
When do you leave?
Usually April. Although I may start leaving in March. Um, just
Yeah.
because, like, I did a farmer run of this and no one died.
Yeah, the difficulty is definitely a thing. Like
Hmm.
it ramps up dramatically. I
Well, it's
found it
because each one has
boring on
different monies.
right. I found it boring on Banker.
Oh, yeah.
Or I mean, I'm sorry. Yeah, I found it boring on Banker, impossible on Farmer, so I usually played at Carpenter level, which is like I think 600.
Hmm. Well, if you're doing farmer, you have to basically count on you are going to hunt the entire way.
Right. Right. So double down. Bullets are cheap, which is good.
Hmm.
Wagon supplies are expensive.
Which is not good.
Yeah, and it's like it's kind of a crapshoot
Yeah.
when it
So,
comes to wagon parts because there's just no way you're going to stock up and have exactly the wagon parts you need. It's just not really a thing that happens.
right. So like I'm doing farmer here. This one I don't think I made it. So I overbuy on oxen now too.
Yep, over by oxen, over by bullets, under by clothes. Because
Yeah,
come on, in
I
spare
mean
parts
they
I get
say
like
you need
one of
10, but
everything.
have you ever needed all 10?
I have never needed all 10. The only time I've needed more than a couple extras to sell them to get fucking wagon parts.
And I use them at the end to help native get me across a river.
Oh, right. Yeah,
So
2 sets of clothing per person. No, I skimp on that. I mean, it depends on the difficulty. If I'm on Carpenter, I usually skip on
we're all
skimp.
family here in a wagon for
Yeah,
several months. I'm going to see
sure.
your things. You don't need to wear clothes.
Yeah,
Go
I mean,
naked.
you're
It's
gonna
hot
get
out, man.
dysentery at some point, and you're just
Yeah.
gonna be shitting water
Yeah.
constantly. So what's it matter?
Doesn't matter.
you're going to get some dysentery.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's generally my strategy. Light on food, light on clothing,
Yeah.
heavy on ammo, uh, and then like spare parts is just a total mixed
Right.
bag because that's what's usually I find that's what's going to fuck you.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have to just play the trade game or give up.
Yeah. Yep.
The trade game can be quite tedious.
Mm-hmm.
I will say that.
Yeah. Hoping, because you're meeting a bunch of people along the way, and you're hoping somebody wants to trade the thing you need. And
Right.
maybe they do, maybe they don't, but it is all just cross your fingers and hope.
Right.
And
And hope you can afford it. Like that's the
yeah.
other thing. Some they might not want your, 500 pounds of meat. They
Mm-hmm.
might want an axle and
Right.
you need a wheel, but you don't have
Because
any axles, so you're
right.
just fucked.
Yeah.
And then you just die and you eat
Mm-hmm.
your friend, because
Yeah.
that's what happened.
So
But yeah,
yes.
that the option to eat your wagon mates is painfully absent from this game, I will
Yeah.
say.
So yeah. So that's that. Here's a typical menu of things you get to do: attempt to trade, hunt for food, stop and rest. Stop and rest is if your people are starting to get sick,
Hmm.
starting to wear down. Take a day. Um, but always be wary of the time. So in addition to this being a resource monitoring thing, there's a clock. Like you got to
Hmm.
get out there by October at best. Otherwise, you start getting snow and you can't really make it through the mountains. Um,
Yeah.
you can look at your supplies, look at the map, change your pace and change your food rations. Do I have those? Do I look at those at all?
Yeah. I mean, it's a thing you wind up adjusting as you go. Again, like it kind of comes into its own on the higher difficulty
Mm-hmm.
levels, as far as being challenging.
My recommendation is usually like I haul ass for the first um,
Right.
marker, then I do a steady pace for
Yep.
most of the rest of the way. And then at the end, depending on how much I've had to hunt, I might kick up the speed to get me the rest of the way there.
Yep. It can be quite heartbreaking though when you're fording a river or whatever and it just goes wrong. Like there were rivers I forded that were like 3 feet deep and I still had a hard time with them. So
I ended up just, unless it was like 2 feet or less, I always
yeah,
caulked and
yeah,
floated.
that seems to be the best option to me too. Because I mean, I never have money left over in the
No,
beginning. It does not seem like
not unless
a
you're a banker.
right. Oh yeah, if you're a banker,
You're
you
just like,
can
yeah, I'll take a ferry. I don't understand
make
the
it rain.
question.
Yeah, yeah. Fuck the bank though.
Fuck the banker. You don't want to be the banker. That doesn't get you the
Yeah,
high scores. Like,
yeah.
and that's the other thing that I don't think we mentioned about this game is there's a score involved, and
Right.
each class has a different multiplier to your score, and farmer pays the best. If you want a high score, you're gonna have to do it on farmer.
Did you ever pay attention to your score when you were a kid? I sure
Yes.
never did.
Oh,
I
I did.
never did.
Oh
I
yeah.
just like tried to make it.
Yeah.
That's all I cared about.
No, I always tried to get my score, but I didn't totally understand how the score worked, even though it spells it out. Like I just my brain never really.
Yeah, who had time to process?
Yeah.
You made it.
Yeah.
Good for you.
Told you I caulk.
Yeah. That's that's what you got to do.
That's what you got to do. That's what you got to do. Uh, One thing I will say, this game is longer than I remembered.
It takes a significant amount of time, especially if you get hung up and have to do the thing where you just wait for someone to trade with.
Wait for someone to trade with, or you got to hunt a lot. If you're
Yep.
doing the farmer and you got to do a lot of hunting, this is going to be a long game to get to the end. Banker, you can rush it because you can just buy a shit ton of food and you know do your thing. But
You want that bison.
I totally wanted that bison.
God, that's the worst when you are so close to getting a bison because then it's like you're done. If you
Hmm.
shoot one bison, you don't have to waste any more ammo.
Right. One bison, two deer. That's always my what I'm looking for in each of these.
Yeah.
Um, and I usually get it, believe it or not. So like you can do a hunting party, but leave early, travel steady, uh, only really push yourself at the end because you're still gonna wear down in those hot months. Um,
Well, the other thing is the hunting changes as you get closer. As you go through the mountains, you
mhm.
don't see bison anymore. You start seeing bears, and the bears seem to be a little harder to get,
Yeah.
or they're less plentiful, or whatever. Which is really a cool design thing. Like
Hmm.
that's neat. I guess I guess there's a lesson there about the habitats
Yeah.
of bison and
I want the
bears.
bears to eat you though. Like if they really wanted to make this
Yeah.
mean, bears should have come up and just been like, "Roar!"
Yeah, totally. That'd be way more interesting.
Made the hunting far more interesting.
Yeah.
Um,
Instead of just skirting around the edge of the screen like they seem to do. But yeah, hunt early and often if you're playing on bank or on farmer.
yeah. I just want to jump to the end here because I want to see something. Oh, oh wow, that is timing. Okay, so this is the farmer where I made it.
Oh, nice.
So at the end, it gives you the option to float down the Columbia River or take the Barlow Toll Road. Obviously, I have $0,
Right.
so I'm gonna have to float down the river. And what's cool about that? Did you get here this time? Do you remember this?
Yeah, yeah. The first time I floated twice down the Columbia River, and the first time I didn't even know how to do the controls. They're not that hard.
No,
But I just like didn't get what I was doing
I
exactly.
think it took me 3 or 4 games of getting here and figuring out, okay, you tap to start the raft moving, and then you got to tap once to stop it. Tap
Right,
once in the opposite direction to stop it, and then again to get it moving back the other way if you want. So it's this.
right. It's a little bit weird. And as
Yeah.
we learned from playing Castle Wolfenstein, the reason is because the Apple doesn't know when you
Holding key.
release a key.
Yes.
It only knows when you press a key.
Yep.
Thank you, Mark.
Thank you, Mark.
6502 Studio. Shout out.
Mark has been a great resource for Apple II stuff, and I know
He's
he's trying to do more with his website to have it be a source of Apple II info. So
Yeah, it's very
bother him,
much
add
appreciated.
stuff. Yeah,
Yep.
but
But yeah, it's weird. And the sign thing is a little bit weird too
yeah,
because you kind of have to park,
right.
and
And so
it's
you
like
see
not
these
the first
signs, and
sign.
you're like, "What am I? What's going on? What's that about?"
Right.
Because like you feel like as a settler, like what? Who made these signs before me?
Yeah, right. And they're
If it's the
huge. They're
natives,
like
I don't know that I trust it.
no. No.
You want more of our land? Yeah, follow the signs, jackass.
Yeah, the ones on the paved riverbed.
Right? Oh,
There you go. There it is. The trail. It looks like someone did a burnout.
right.
There you go. You did it.
Boop.
Oh, gorgeous.
Yep.
God. All 8 colors.
Woo. Purple Mountain's Majesty, baby. They
That
nailed
is
it.
something. I liked the music. It all the stops you can look around, which I recommend.
Yeah, I
It's
like.
not necessary, but do it
Hmm.
because it's great old school Apple II artwork.
Yep.
Treat yourself. Look around. Enjoy the music.
Yeah. I should have rested just before I went on the trail. I didn't quite realize how close I was.
Yeah,
Um, so we'll flip it over. We'll see where I am in the top 10. I've got a couple names on there.
that's
Uh,
a pretty good finish.
yeah. Yep.
Nice. Wow, good
So,
for you.
yeah. So, all right. That's that version. Is there anything else you want to say about it?
No, like this is the version I played. I remember. Um, I remember learning that you can walk around in hunting mode and just being blown away by that because
Hmm.
I would just like rotate and shoot. So yeah, so you can walk around in hunting mode. If I could go back in time and tell that to second grade Matt, it would save him quite a bit of frustration.
Okay,
Here we go. This looks different.
yes, this is the version. Like this is version 1.2. I probably played 1.0 or 1.1 because there were a few differences. For starters, it was only called Oregon. It came with these other games on it. Fur Trader, I always had a hard time with, but it was kind of cool. Like you were doing the fur trapping of the French native area, and you were trading stuff at forts to get the most money you could. The original version I had, it looked almost identical to this. I played it on a monochrome, so I didn't, there are a couple multicolors in here, but since I played it on monochrome, it was all green.
Yep.
Um, and yeah, you do not do a party. It's just you. Excuse me. You pick how good a shot you are for the hunting mini game right off the bat. I took shaky knees. No
Fair
shame.
to middling.
And then
Super.
like if you didn't read before, you don't know how much you're getting of any of this.
Right.
And in the original version that I had, you could negative amount the values and still get stuff for them because it did sort of like absolute thing. So if you did
Hmm.
negative 300 for oxen, you got 300 oxen and $300. So you could spend
Wow.
more on other things later.
Yeah. Take that, Matt. You jackass. I'll buy negative 300 oxen.
Yep. So, and here was the map. Oh, God, I loved this map.
Oh, man.
And then it would cut immediately to this. It reminds me of like the green bar we printed at St. Mary's, like something you would see on that. Just a real.
Yeah. Just
So I
really
went right
boiled
to
down.
hunting. Here's
Oh,
hunting.
God. This hunting is hideous.
It's hideous. And then you shoot like that, and you got to kind of. Oh, I missed. Oh, direct
Yeah.
hit. I thought I
Oh,
missed.
you kind of shot it in the dick butters.
But like
Yeah,
they'll
you missed
speed
that
up
one.
and slow down, so like there's no timing this. There's a general sense of like I know I should shoot near that second tree at the end, but
Hmm.
uh
This is truly hideous to behold.
truly um loved it. This was the best game. Even then, this was the best game we were playing on Apple II at school. We loved this. If we could have just played the hunting part and not
Hmm.
any of the rest of it, we would have. We
Oh
would have
yeah, that
just
I think that was every kid, and like the hunting in this one looks like I like the way the animals look a lot better.
hmm
It's kind of cool, but like the gameplay is just so lacking
yeah.
though. But I guess you didn't care.
You didn't care. This was amazing to us. This was mind blowing. I kind of bought too many bullets. I don't think I needed 2,000 bullets for the trip.
You did double down. It didn't look like you spent that much on them though.
No,
I
I
seem
didn't
to
think so
remember it
either.
was
But I
you only
got,
spent like 50. You must have got a deal.
and you get 5 shots per hunt, and then it ends. Like you can let them run
Oh.
by a lot, but you get 5 shots.
Oh, so there's no randomness to the animals. It's just they just keep parading by,
Keep parading by, and you get
and
five
there's only
shots to try
one
and hit them.
kind.
There's only one kind each thing. There is one. Um, I think they took the wolves out of the newer version because they looked like dogs. But I used to have wolves in mine.
Hmm.
Um,
I could see that upsetting a child.
yeah, it didn't upset us. They also made a
No.
change a little bit later. We'll talk about that when we get to it. Um, but like
Bad
this was,
illness.
yeah, and that would just wear down your supplies.
Yep.
You really didn't have to make a lot of decisions in this one. It was far more like a typical board game where just you landed on a certain thing and stuff
Hmm.
happened and here was your community chest card. This is what you get. It was all bad.
Oh,
There
right.
was no good things that happened to
No,
you.
nothing good ever happens to you in Oregon Trail.
And then yeah, I like how it types out if you make it alive.
I know it's very scary and menacing.
Yeah, you wouldn't be able to hear the music, but it's playing music over all of this.
Sweet.
Like pay attention here because it's like okay, $1 buys a belt of 50 bullets, and you'll be shooting at animals and bandits. Um, and then it basically just tells you these are what each of the things do, and you can hunt and you can spend all your money or you can save it and spend it on the way. It's still a very similar thing to the original. Again, here's where we were talking
Yeah.
pick a hunting difficulty, spend money, 300.
Yeah, this is such a weird system because you only spent 50 on ammunition and yet you wound up with over 2,000 bullets.
Over 2,000
That is a
bullets.
deal.
That is quite a deal, isn't it? Clothing, I'm thinking about it because I'm like, I don't remember how much clothing is for clothing. Oh, 100 clothings.
Gotta look your best, I
And I'm
guess.
trying to remember like how much money I had on me. Like,
Right.
because there's no ticker telling counting down. I mean, this is
Yeah, this is raw. This is pretty boiled down Oregon Trail.
yeah. But again, if you think like the first one was on a teletype machine,
Right. This was probably light years ahead of that one.
yeah, this is mind blowing compared to that. But yeah,
And this is it. You don't even get the little walkie walk animation of
mm-mm. No, when you move
the
your
wagon.
wagon, kind of moves up the line. So this is
Isn't it?
hunting. Yeah, this is it. This is what hunting is.
It's so
Uh,
weird that
a
like,
flickery line drawing of an animal runs by,
but you
and
loved this.
I
Like
loved this.
that's the thing about nostalgia. Like the newer version has some redeeming qualities when it comes to
Hmm.
hunting because you can walk around. There's some skill involved. This just seems like a total crapshoot to
A
me.
little bit. It feels like a rigged carnival game. Like you can
Right.
do it if you know the rigging. Like you can get better at it, but you're never going to be 100% because it's rigged.
Hmm.
Um, so, and same with the stuff that happened. Like we were mentioning, it felt like a board game. It just here's
Yeah.
your chance card, here's your community chest. And that is kind of what happened. Like here's the wagon just slowly moving down the down
Yeah.
the
So
path.
just the map, and then you go to the next fort, and that's that.
That's it. And
No cut screen.
no,
And it asks you how do you want to eat?
yeah.
You don't,
Well,
how do I want to eat or how should I eat? Because that's
right.
another one of those things that transitions into adulthood. I should eat moderately.
I'm not gonna.
Not gonna.
uh, so let's jump. I'm going to jump ahead here. There's bad illness.
Bad illness. You need a bad operation.
More hunting. A lot of hunting.
Yeah.
Oh, oh, oh. Let's back that up. Pause.
Raiders ahead.
Raiders
Uh-oh.
ahead.
Ethnically insensitive raiders ahead. You know
Ethnically
it's gonna
insensitive
be.
raiders ahead. Now, this one, at least there's some ambiguity. I feel the hats are a little sombrero-y,
Yeah.
but
They're more than a little sombrero-y. And you shoot them.
you
That's
shoot them. Well, third grade me, but third grade me wasn't shooting raiders. Third grade me was shooting Indians
oh
with full
wow.
headdress and a spear, and they did this three-step animation that, yeah, some teacher was like, "You need to stop that,"
Right. In the
and they
80s
put in the
when people barely knew any better, someone
yeah,
was still like this is not
this
cool.
was not
Make
cool.
them make them Mexicans. It'll be
Make
fine.
them Mexicans. Oh my
It's
god.
1982. Like
Yeah,
it's the best we're going to
we've
do.
progressed.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to imagine a game for school that would have my like third grader and second grader shooting people today.
Yeah, there's not There's not many.
No. I think the closest you get is something like Splatoon that Nintendo pulled, where it's more like a water gun fight.
Right.
But yeah, no.
Yeah, no, you were sniping those raiders, and they weren't even that hostile. Like if you they
Yeah,
didn't
they're
do
just
anything to
riding
you, they
around.
just ran by.
Yeah.
It's not okay.
Mm-mm.
You're kind of the asshole in that situation, I think.
They did say they looked hostile.
Sure. Right.
Yeah.
So what happens if you like I didn't play this version, so I don't know. What happens if you refuse to shoot the raiders, which you probably should have refused to shoot them?
They will take some supplies.
Oh. Yeah, I got robbed a lot in the Apple version.
Hmm.
Some dude stole all my oxen one night. Like, damn
What?
it. Yeah.
Harsh.
Yeah. Like you just woke up and all my oxen were gone. I don't know if all of them, but like enough that I got immediately screwed.
Hmm.
Like that's shitty. Someone should have
Yeah.
been watching them, you
Yeah.
know?
So this version isn't. I mean, not much else changes as we just bop along here. More hunting, more
Yeah.
notes, more hunting.
There's
Almost
just not
there.
much to this game. I'm
Yeah.
impressed that you beat it on Farmer because it's not easy to do that.
Yeah. No. It's years of playing, and that's kind of why I picked this. I mean, we both know this game well enough. We've both seen it before. Most everybody's seen it before. If you're new to this, go play this. This is one of those. It's a
Oh
seminal
yeah.
gaming moment. Go play it. I'm just bouncing ahead here because I also won this one.
Nice.
So, um, I want to kind of just show the end of that, and then I want to show something else here.
Oh, it also teaches who was president in
Yep.
1840 whatever.
Yeah. You get a
James
telegram
K.
that sends you
Polk.
his congratulations.
Do you really think that the president telegrammed people when they arrived in Oregon?
I have no idea.
Me neither. He could have faxed them.
Could have faxed him. Could have
Yep.
faxed him. All right. I'm going to
Yep.
do this. I'm going to do this.
Do you have yet another version of this?
Same version, but I deliberately rushed to death for myself in this one because
Okay.
I find the
That's the only
death
way to win.
interesting. Because, okay, so you die, and then it starts asking you there are a few formalities we must go through. Would you like a minister? If you don't have the money, you can't get a minister.
Oh, jeez.
Would you like a fancy funeral? Would you like to inform your next of kin? No.
Fuck them.
But Sadie in St. Louis is worried about you. Like, the game's already killed you, and then it takes a moment to just
Yeah.
rub it in your face.
Yeah. Yeah, you've got to make your own funeral arrangements. Like, that's cold.
Man, that is
That's brutal.
that is not okay.
Death abounds in the Oregon Trail, man. The
Yeah,
thing is just harsh. It's so mean and just it doesn't care if you have fun.
but you do.
Yeah, but you do.
You
You have
do.
fun because you're along for the ride with your five offensively named people, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah. No, it's got that XCOM aspect too of like you're gonna kill a bunch of people that are you're like friends and family with. So
Yeah.
yeah.
And the other thing about it that I like is that you can dive into this. Like we always joke that I never read the manuals,
Hmm.
but this is one game that you can dive directly into.
Yes.
Everything you need to know to play this game is on the screen.
Yep. And you're gonna have fun as a kid or an adult or whatever. Um, if you and again, if you can't handle the graphics, get one of the new versions. It's
Yeah,
like
there's a
constantly.
thousand versions of
Yeah.
this.
I'm not joking. There's a phone version that plays with a bunch of new enhancements and little mini games and stuff, but essentially the same concept.
Mm-hmm.
Get a wagon, outfit your stuff, balance your equipment, and get all the way out to Oregon. Um, yeah, you'll have fun.
Yeah. Yeah,
Oh,
it's worth playing, and it's worth going back to because you'll get that little
hmm.
nostalgia kick in the back of your head, you know.
Yeah, yeah. No, I seminal computing game.
Definitely,
Um,
yeah. Definitely find the version you played as a kid too,
yes,
because that
that
makes
helps a
all the
lot.
difference.
Like one you guys played, I played occasionally too, and that was fun. But um, for me, managing to find something that was as close as I could to mine
Hmm.
really brought back the feels. I just really loved it.
Yeah,
Okay, should we should we talk? Should we talk about next month?
yeah. Let's talk about next month.
We're going into October, so
It's one of my favorite times of year because we play a spooky game. It's
play spooky
very
games.
scary. Are
Now
you ready?
it's not our bigger one. This is our short game, but it is Beyond the Forbidden Forest.
Yes.
Read the manual to this one.
Okay.
Uh,
Not gonna, but okay.
no, you have to.
Okay.
Um, Manual Beyond, and the reason you have to, if you don't, you cannot finish the game.
Oh, really?
Yes, because you are running around the forest, and when you get enough, every time you kill a creature, you get like a silver arrow.
Hmm.
You can do that forever. You will never advance the game. You have to, when you have decided you have enough silver arrows, hit a button that shows your silver arrow count, hit another button, and that takes you into the cave to fight the demons.
Oh,
So if you don't know that button process, and it will never prompt you, sorry, golden arrows. Uh,
the Demogorgon. Wow.
yes. You'll never get to the
I
Demogorgon.
I love this manual. It's very like Manos the Hands of Fate. I love the
Oh,
font. I love everything about it.
oh yeah, it's fantastic. It's the game is Cosme. I love Cosme games. They're these sort of somewhere between low budget and awesome. This is about the only way I can describe it.
Yeah, I'm excited to experience Omni Dimension 4D for the Commodore 64.
Yeah, buddy.
4D.
40.
I don't even know how many Ds regular life is in.
Maybe 10.
It might
Um,
be. Is that smell?
let's.
Does it have smell? Or is that 5D? I don't
That might be 5D, yeah. And just for a reminder for everybody, I'll transition into that. Boop, boop. We are playing Rings of Zilfin right now for our big game. That will be the beginning of October, and then we'll announce our next big game then. Um,
Also, I think that'll be a spooky one too, right?
yes.
Doing
Yes.
something spooky.
That one I can already tell people because it's a request. It was a request immediately after last year's, which was Alone in the Dark. Someone was like,
Oh,
please play Alone in the Dark 2 right away because I really want to get your take on it. So we're playing Alone in the Dark 2 right away.
that's
And
cool.
don't bother asking for a spooky game for next year, anybody. You can ask, but it will not come till 2020 because next year's is Project Firestart. And I am not going to miss another year on that. I want to do that one.
Yeah, you've been jonesing for Project Firestart for a long time.
Yes.
I'm still holding out for the seventh guest, man. I want to play that son of a bitch.
I know. We will get there.
I love that game, man. It was the first CD-ROM game I ever played, and it blew my mind. It was like, in the future, this is what video games are going to look like.
No.
So great. No, they're
No.
way better.
They're way better. They're way better. Thankfully you were wrong.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Anything else we need to say?
No, no, it was a good time with Oregon
Good
Trail.
time with Oregon Trail. All right.
Always.
Then thanks everybody for watching. Talk to you next time. Bye.
Night.